The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Join us once again in the shed as our party of heroes coasts the Dawnbringer into port at Fraburh, City of Bridges. Listen in as Mickie, JJ, Kurt, and Joe revisit contacts in the city after being gone for nearly a year. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure you check out our Halloween episode on YouTube. It's a fun episode to watch. A bunch of adults making fools of themselves. And this is the bunch of adults. We'll go around the table starting with...
Hi, everyone. I am an adult, but I don't always make a fool of myself.
I don't play one on TV.
Just because you like to be spanked doesn't mean you're not an adult.
By the way, this is Mickie, if you didn't know. I play Nessalus. Go ahead.
Adult number 2, playing Calamity. I am JJ. And now we go to adult number 3.
Yeah, I would like to say I'm adult number 3, but realistically I'm about 14 in my head. This is Kurt. I am playing Truk. He is the wise, dexterous human monk with a little bit of druid in him.
And I am Joe. I'm the game master as we continue this Dungeon World campaign set in the world of Alamand. Once again, we are missing Brit. She was not able to attend today's recording session at Adventures from the Shed. So Elena will be sitting, again, still in the port city of Wint, amongst the capable hands, or within the capable hands of the dwarves in the Second Church of Wint. They will be protecting her as our party makes their way back across the ocean towards the West World. Not the West World. What's the West World? Yeah, whatever it is. And we're going to get a quick recap of our last crackalicious session from Kurt.
And it will be brief because the entire last session was our crew undertaking a perilous journey across the seas as we worked our way back to the Wadozation Monastery. We had a delightful sail with our undead crew and 6 or 7...
Skeleton crew. You have to say skeleton crew.
Our skeleton crew
yes.
And 6 or 7 real crew members who cooked us beef jerky and similar delights. But at one point, we noticed a wake behind us. We could not tell what it was, but it was sizable, it was noticeable, and eventually Truk realized that perhaps it was the great mythical Kraken. We ended up with a pitched, feverish, terrifying battle against the great sea squid known as the Kraken.
You just Shatnered that line. That was pretty cool.
It whipped its tentacles and grabbed. It reared its head and bit. But after much back and forth, including Truk being grabbed, crushed,
and saved.
Hammered, saved with a cage spell
yes.
from Nessalus, lots of things happened, the most exciting of which may have involved Calamity jumping on the Kraken's head and driving his great sword down into it.
He was, however, helped by Jerry.
Yes, Jerry Garcia was a pivotal assist. Long and short, I could go on for hours about the epic battle.
Please do.
Okay, you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so in that
then
case,
what happened?
So in that case, Truk put his left foot forward on the deck, planted his on his right. No, seriously, come on. What happened? We fought the friggin' Kraken. We kicked the shit out of it. This mythic creature. Oh, I totally forgot. Truk turned. He used elemental mastery. Yeah. Turned the water around the Kraken to ice.
He started a chain reaction. We know.
That's right. He froze it so it could not attack. Everyone wailed on it. Kraken died, and it turns out there may still be an iceberg floating in the sea forever named after Truk.
Except that
what would it be named?
The whole ocean.
Trukalicious.
Trukalicious.
And
I think
the ocean's too trukalicious for you, baby.
The episode literally ended up with us sailing off into the sunset, thinking, what a fine epic combat we just had.
Cool. And as the boat that you are in, which again is called the Dawnbringer, which has the seal of the Fires of Ascaranth on it. That boat going to the west as we approach the West World. This is you're approaching the port city that you originally sailed out of when you went towards Wint the first time.
Fraburh?
Fraburh.
Fraburh.
I'm sorry, Fraburh. There's no G at the end. Fraburh. That is Fraburh, the city of bridges. As you approach, it is early morning. The sun's behind you. You're approaching to the west, and it is bright off of the glinting metal on a lot of the bridges that surround the city, and the port is up ahead. You easily dock the ship. Everyone knows what they're doing. At the docks itself, you recognize the Pelts of Plenty number 4, which was Captain Jones's boat that you guys sailed off on last year.
The beaver pelts.
Before we come within view of the port,
Yeah.
just because I don't want to cause any undue panic, the skeletons are all going to go lay low.
Okay.
So essentially what happens is I give the command word once they're in the hold, and they just basically disassemble and fall into piles.
No disassemble, Skeleton 5.
They got off pretty easy on this journey.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, I don't want to. So now we're really on a skeleton crew. There's only like 5 people left. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that large of a boat.
Well, that's the thing.
Doesn't look too odd.
We're kind of coasting into Fraburh.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So you coast into Fraburh with the world's first skeleton, non-skeleton crew.
yep.
Yeah. And, like I say, the Pelts of Plenty number 4 is there. You also see one of the rocks-off barges being loaded from a nearby stone quarry.
Rocks off.
Does it remind you of Wayne?
He did like to get his rocks off.
What were they on?
You have to ask. You haven't had them off.
Her face.
So this is kind of it's a big town, practically a city. There's about 19,000 people there. You remember it is run by a tyrant. There's a human female Lord Balda. They even call her Lord Balda because she is a tyrant. That's her name amongst the city. Of course, she's just called Balda by her closest people. And there's also a hierarchy of priests around the city, pretty much suburbs, that help to influence some of the things going on within the city. They kind of keep it lawful-ish, even though Balda is kind of a big jerk lady.
Nobody likes her.
Yeah, but this is the place that you guys sailed out of, and you are coming back.
Does anybody remember? How long has it been in
I'm
the game?
thinking it's probably close to a year. I haven't kept that great track of time, but
You make
it's
a
been
horrible
months.
chronomancer.
Exactly. It was 3 weeks to get there. Then it was a month to get to the temple and back. You guys spent weeks, if not months, going to the Grove and back. Time at different places. The underground mansion of Nico Saint. You spent time there.
Do we have any interest in Fraburh, or are we passing through?
It's passing through basically to get to water station.
Thank you.
Water station.
We have no contacts there, no guilds.
I mean, there's
no.
his
There's
Calamte's.
Raquel, yeah.
Yeah, Calamte's contacts.
You want to
And
catch up with
there's also
them for anything?
the captain.
Of
that
the
we
Captain
of the-
Jones?
of the Captain
Captain Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, we should probably stock up, make sure that we have all the provisions that we need before we head out to Wadization.
Yeah, like what kind of what is the what do you call it, the season right now?
Let's
Are we
say
going
let's
into
say
the
it's in
winter?
a new
Are we going to need
year.
pelts?
Let's say it's more like early spring. We just got out of winter.
Oh, okay.
It'll
So
be
no
early
need.
spring.
So no-
let's
no-
call
no-
it
No
that.
need
no
for
need
beaver
to-
pelt.
no
Beaver
need for
pelts.
Oh,
beaver
there's still plenty of beaver pelts. They're probably on sale.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Discounted beavers.
Yes.
Not good beaver.
No, I want a high quality, high price, premium beaver.
yeah.
That could be a show title.
Discounted beaver.
Beaver, beaver, fever.
Oh God.
Nice beaver. Thank you.
Just had his stuff.
Oh gosh.
The Naked Gun.
So let's get.
Calamite, what do you think?
I think
Supplies?
that
You definitely need to restock the boat.
yeah. And I would actually the sailors, the crew that we hired, the eclectic bunch that are veterans amongst themselves, they're going to handle the quartermastering of the boat, getting it. I tell them that their salaries will be paid for the entire time we're in dock, even though we're not actually transporting anything. They are free to, what was it called, shore leave?
Yeah.
They're on shore leave.
They are on
Okay.
shore leave. They can
Batten down the hatches.
Run, surely,
Make
High up there, women.
mateys.
Make sure that there is still always someone on the ship ready to recall and so on and so forth. But
Some live person.
What can we do for money?
here, I mean, Raquel's already making it. I'm going to collect my tithing here in a second.
You're going to collect your tithing?
Gold is still gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Raquel?
Raquel is my employee. She runs Rocks Off.
She runs rocks off. That's kind of interesting.
She gets the rocks off,
I don't
baby.
remember. I remember the negotiations with
It's just
Raquel.
one of my ventures here in Fraburh. I have ventures all over the place.
Truk is slightly disillusioned or disgusted with Calamity's focus on money. But you understand.
And yet, it facilitates everything you would like to do.
It's true.
Money greases every gear that
That's
you run
true.
up against.
Money does
That's true.
grease
One of
the
my
gears.
bonds is that Calamity is greedy, but I will make him generous like me, and I'm not sure how that's going to work.
I mean,
And
you got to
I
actually start to do something in character.
But he is really generous because he has not charged us for any of this. Like, he could have
He
charged
hasn't
us.
charged you. He's just kept the money you've earned.
You know, like, well, if he were really like a money grubbing total douche, he would have charged us for this voyage, charged us for all the supplies that he's provided and all that good stuff.
Well, no, because then we would not have gone.
Has anybody looked at his ledger to see how many beef jerkies you've eaten?
No,
All right, then. You don't know you haven't been charged
that's
yet.
true.
Have you eaten a lot of beef?
Well, I
jerkies?
haven't paid for anything.
Exactly.
I've used nature's credit
So
card.
Nature.
I like that my bond is actually counter to yours. I respect the beliefs of Truk, but hope that one day he will see the true way.
And there's a conflict there. I like it.
have
So
any
what do you
bonds
want
with
to
you
check up with
Raquel,
Raquel?
I want to
I'm
find
sworn to
out
protect
exactly why profits have been down a little bit.
Okay.
Simply because I shouldn't be running into debt with as many ventures as I have all over the place.
The local rock quarry, which is 2 days west of Fraburh, has started to run short of granite and hard stones, and
Okay.
they've had to make do with smaller bits of rock that people aren't as interested in.
Is
Pretty
it
much
that-
bricks instead of slab.
Is it that the quarry is out or that they can't mine it?
Do you want to be there at the time?
Sure.
Okay. During that discussion, then. Yes,
Wait, why will I
yes,
be there?
Liz.
I would have tagged along. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's reasonable.
Okay.
I think overall the party does see Calamity at least as the adventure leader and monetary leader. If not, I mean, he may not be the moral or whatever, but he does lead the group as far as when you need to do something. I think people have deferred to him that way, so it makes sense to me.
Okay.
There has been a little bit of issue with, let's call them wandering monsters, but for the most part, the quarry itself is not yielding as large a stone, and they're not sure if it is something natural or not, because everything that they have seen from their local, let's call them geomancers, are able to tell that the rock is solid, still as deep as they can tell. However, a lot of what they're getting out of the ground isn't as solid as it should be.
I would
can I-
like
Breaking
to.
into too small a bit.
I would like to consult with one of my associates to see if we can't clear up this dry spell.
Okay. What's your associate's name?
Truk, actually.
Truk, okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys been passing notes in class?
We have been.
Cool.
Yeah.
That means we're engaged in the game.
It is good. I just need to know.
Exactly, and that's why we're going to bring it up.
You got it.
So I want to bring Truk into this conversation.
Okay, go for
and,
it.
So Raquel here, she's having a little difficulty with procuring the supplies necessary to run this business. They've hit a dry spell, if you will, of the ore and the granite within the earth not being where it needs to be. Is there anything you could do to help that, since you've been in touch with your druidic nature?
Well, what exactly are we looking for? Why do we want to?
I mean, if it's possible, I think it'd be great if somehow a vein of gold were to migrate its way to the surface.
Nice. Also,
Huh.
as a side note, one of the things that Raquel's business has been doing is supplying the larger slabs of stone to help Emarash rebuild as an empire.
Yeah.
So
And they're not getting large bits of stone anymore. It's small parts.
So what you'd really like me to do is call on the primal spirit of the earth to do something I want it to do?
Yeah.
Talk to the elemental.
Talk to the elements. See if you can't.
Would you have this conversation in earshot of Raquel?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say, I appreciate the help of your geomancers, but I think having someone truly in tune with nature would help. And maybe he could help the geomancers do what they need to do.
Does Truk have the appearance of somebody who would be in touch with nature? I'm just curious because I'm gauging her
granola?
reaction based on what you look like.
Are you
I
a
would
hipster?
say,
Are you totally crunchy and
I would
granola?
say somewhat. I mean, I have the staff, which is representative of Frederica. I have the natural air of someone who's very comfortable with his environment, but
So her reaction, I'm going to take it as her reaction is these geomancers have trained their entire life to know where stone should be and where it should not be. I don't believe that your friend here has any greater influence over the rock.
Yeah, see, they've trained where it will be and where it will not be. My friend here can literally move it to where it needs to be.
right, if everything goes well. So
If-
Truk is still very humble because he has failed many, many times. on elemental
But see,
mastery.
that's the thing. I'm gambling on the fact that your number's up.
Right, right,
I'm feeling lucky, punk.
right. So the downside to this is catastrophe, but I think
Well, the good thing is the quarry is far from town. I mean, it
It's 2
requires
days west, yeah.
exactly. So it requires a barge to
Okay.
right. So
and nothing's habitated near it.
right.
So if
I would
there's
like-
a catastrophe, it won't hurt too many people.
I mean, provided call up a volcano, we'll be fine.
And so Raquel will tell Calamity directly, well, you're the boss. If you're telling me he needs to do this,
I mean,
then
essentially what
we'll
you're
bring
telling
guys
me
along.
is that this quarry's dry, and really the only thing
well,
we can do.
it's not dry.
It's
they
obstructed.
just can't get the stones
Yeah.
out as big as they would like.
There's
Yeah.
little downside here to me trying to
Exactly,
speak
but
with
we're
the
going to have to
earth.
move the quarry anyways.
Right. So I root myself into the earth.
You need to get there.
Well, we need to get there
You
first.
do you want to go there?
It's
next?
2 days.
yeah.
It's 2 days west.
So she says, to Calamity, if this is what you want to do, you're the boss. I'll get your group on the next barge to go there.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So we arrive.
Yeah, and unless there's anything else you want to do in town,
Not currently. I
Okay.
mean,
and in the
I want to go
meantime, you've
back.
got
Can we go back to town afterwards?
yes.
If I'm successful with the elemental mastery, I want to go find a really good baker and mow down on some donuts.
We
Cool.
probably
And
should
coffee?
head to the water station directly.
Donuts for
afterwards.
strength.
Okay.
Donuts for strength. That could be a show
All right, but
title
first-
too. Damn it, Kurt.
So we will go to the area, and Truk is very humble because he knows he's got about a 50% chance of this working. But he's going to basically take his staff and casually, not making a show of it, not making a big ritual scene, but he's just going to very casually draw a circle around himself, ground his staff in front of him, place his left hand on the earth, and try to master the elements to move the gold vein where we need it to move.
So I'm curious, would you, and I'm thinking of this as this is a wisdom thing. Wisdom not as in the stat, but as what Truk is learning. Would Truk seek a communion of whispers before an elemental mastery? Is he that smart yet?
Well, no, it's interesting. So the way he would do this,
Or wise?
without thinking about the moves, because I don't want to
Yeah.
read them, he would be checking the earth, touching down, and then basically what he's trying to do is speak to.
Yeah.
There are spirits, there are earth elementals, there are all these things, and he'd be trying to speak to the one who controls this particular area and say, "Look, I take care of you. I take care of the earth the best I can. I need you to help me here. Let's make this move." So maybe that would be a communion of whispers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Thinking of specifically, if we talk about stats, at the beginning of our last episode, you said that Truk went up a point in wisdom, and he's becoming more wise. So
Correct.
would that be a wise approach based on the way the character's growing?
Yes, it doubles the chances of I not rolling a success, but yes, that would be.
However, a communion of whispers might give you the indication that an elemental mastery wouldn't work anyway,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
So
let's find out.
Oh shit!
Or you could just fail outright to start.
well, the good thing is I failed on my communion of whispers
All right.
with a 5.
And now let's, as we are wont to do, let's read Communion of Whispers again, and just go straight to the failure part.
So,
if it has
all right,
one.
on a miss, the vision is upsetting, frightening, or traumatizing. The GM will describe it, and I take -1 forward.
Okay. As you have described it, you draw the circle in the ground. You connect Frederica with the earth itself, and do you kneel down or?
I draw the circle and I touch down.
Okay, so you touch the ground, holding Frederica with your palm on your other palm,
Correct,
on the ground, and you feel what could only be described as icy hot. That the ground itself projects into your head the vision of something from the deep. That's something so dark and so negative that it makes you immediately drop Frederica, and your hand is scorched from the earth itself.
Maybe they should stop digging.
Right. So normally I would try to move this, but I don't think this is the place. I think we should look for another site.
All right, I trust your word.
Would that be my -1 forward? Because normally I would roll here to Elemental Mastery.
You're going to take a -1 on your next roll that has to do with the vision you got. All right. I'm not going to treat it as you're going to take -1 forward. So say 2 days from now you're playing you're playing cards with somebody in a tavern.
Right.
You're not going to take a -1 to that.
Well,
but anything else that happens in this quarry might be a -1 forward.
from a roleplay
Or
perspective,
-1.
like I could try to move the gold here, but
Oh, you
clearly
sure
that
can.
vision was don't do this. Something bad is going to come of that. You're a moron. So Truk would say,
The way Kurt played this out for those listening was his right hand was on Frederica's limb, the staff, and his left hand was on the earth. Your left hand is forming blisters.
right.
Don't mess with it.
So I would say to Calamite, there are better sites than this. There's money to be made elsewhere. Let's not push our luck.
Understandable. It'll be costly to move the operation, but
What can we do in the interim to kind of make
well,
money?
she did say that there was an issue with the monsters, but I think the pressing concern is the Wadasation Monastery.
All right.
And Kurt, treat this how you want, but as the blisters form on your hand, you hear this voice in your head that sounds like somebody choking on marbles and gravel, and that is what you hear in your head.
So there's no reason I would keep that secret.
Completely up to you on
Right.
how you interpret it and how you say it.
I would. Truk is not a particularly guileful character, so he would.
He's not a smart man, Jen.
Well, he's wise, but not smart. He would approach Nestless and say, "Nestless, if you want to spank me, that's cool." But in all seriousness, when I tried to do what I just did, I got a horrible feeling, scorching fire into my flesh.
You can even show her the blisters on your hand.
And burning flesh onto my hand when I touched the earth, and I got a sense or a sound, not a vision, but a sound that I could not avoid, and it said, "Tell her I am approaching. Tell her I am approaching."
So he's coming for me.
That's all I heard. Tell
I
her I am
wanted to
approaching.
write "Tell her I am coming," but I thought that would be bad.
That would be bad.
Yeah,
We don't
Especially
need-
with this group.
Yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
facial jokes here.
we don't.
Tell her I am approaching.
So he's coming for me.
You're the only her here, so I am telling you that he is approaching.
Well, Raquel is there, but I think it's kind of obvious it's about, the horned.
Clearly,
horned one.
our day of reckoning with Dentalian is coming.
At least my day of reckoning.
And
is
we need to think not only about acquiring the sword and figuring out the prophecy, but beyond that, we need to think about how we're going to deal with him.
I'll
And
deal with him.
Whether we fight or whether you negotiate.
She's going to kick his ass.
Well, I mean,
My diary will help me.
he's your father.
Yeah.
Are you
So
gonna
he says.
you gonna blast your father in the face with Eldritch Blast?
Yep.
You
He's
sure?
been nothing but ruin,
Are you sure?
death, and destruction,
Bless you, Kurt.
stress, and strife. He's done nothing for me. How dare he show up into my life?
So when push
now.
comes to shove and we're at the final moment with the sword and Dentalian arrives, you're just gonna blast him in the face?
He's done nothing for me. Why would I not?
I just want to know before we reach that moment, what's going to happen?
I think my actions have been clear to date. Do you doubt me now, Truk?
I don't doubt you, but I think it would be normal for any child to hesitate before striking his parent down.
He's not my parent.
He's just my dad.
He's nothing to me.
He was never around when I needed him.
Never around when I needed for him. He was never at my ballet recitals.
Yeah.
All right.
So at this point, watching what's going on, Raquel takes Calamity aside and says, "Boss, what's going on? Apparently, this isn't working."
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna have to move operations, I think.
But there isn't another known quarry within days of here. This is really where all the money has come from for about 5 years now.
So maybe we
And
don't
that's
wait.
5 years of
Wait,
property.
Wait,
we
you're
don't-
not there. She brought him aside
Oh, okay.
specifically.
That's 5 years of profits, and unfortunately, no well can remain untapped forever.
Well, sir, we're going to have to hire more people because the next quarry isn't near a river, and we're going to need to transport things by horse or ox or something to get from the quarry over several miles just to get to the river.
I understand this, and when I return from the more pressing matters of saving the world, I will ask my
I
friend.
just pulled the card.
I will ask my friend Truk here to maybe create a irrigation channel or like what do you call it? What do you call those things when you a channel in the ground where you fill with water and like it just be a straight shot to the quarry to the river?
I know it.
Canal?
Canal. Yeah, one of those things.
We'll go with canal.
Yeah, to just remove one of the C's or remove the H and the N and becomes a canal.
Okay.
Channel to canal.
I see.
I think that would be easy work for me.
As evidenced by your last roll. Yeah.
I shouldn't even have to roll for that.
I know.
It should just be automatic.
To make a canal. To reform the earth
A 3
mile
canal. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? It just happens, right? Why not? So then she can bring you back to town, back to Fraburh.
Well, wait. I thought we were already to the west. Why don't we just use this as a
The
takeoff point?
monastery is northwest, but yeah.
We just use it as a takeoff point.
I suppose you could, yeah.
Truk's not going to get his donuts.
Yeah, Truk will not get
But
his
he
donuts.
didn't
Well, you
succeed.
didn't succeed.
Exactly.
Well, he said the donuts were for strength. If he doesn't have them, this is an obvious reason why he didn't succeed. Am I with you here, Kurt? Okay, good.
I mean, the donuts are for his hemorrhoids.
Kurt, when you go to a drive-through and they say, "Do you want fries with that?" Do you nod?
I get the side salad.
Okay,
And then a donut for dessert.
for strength. Okay, so you want to head towards the monastery then.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember right, the monastery was about 3 days from the town, from the city.
Correct.
Fraburh,
So we're only 1 day from the monastery.
approximately. Yeah. You went west and it was northwest, so yeah, you're nearby.
We just need to, not take the hypotenuse and just go up the.
Going up the tangent.
Let's do a little perilous journey here.
A
We're
little
gonna
one.
do-
All
yeah,
right,
it
a
is.
little
Well,
one.
it's a little one compared to the last one, which was 2 weeks. This one is a
Oh,
day.
Can I be the scout?
But you
Here I
guys
go.
are traveling in perilous area. Before you depart,
Yes.
Raquel will tell the party that there have been reports of evil, of demons just laying waste to the land.
There's evil afoot.
There's evil afoot.
Raquel sounds dirty hot. Can we bring her with us?
She would not want to come with us.
No, but she is dirty and hot. She's just not adventurous.
You've got, what's her name?
The scout totally succeeded.
Yeah, really? So you're doing scout again?
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Your quartermaster.
You're taking the
I'll
same
have
rules?
quartermaster again.
I'm not
did
worried
you-
about our provisions on a one-day hike.
Well, I was wondering if you actually brought provisions with you to the rock quarry.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Enough for like 5
I mean,
days.
it was a 2-day thing to come out
yeah,
here.
but now you're going several more days out of your way towards the monastery.
Yeah, but I mean, we still had 2 days to go back.
Just want to make sure.
We just have 2 days to get there.
I would have loaded up in Fraburh because I don't carry anything. No weapon, no armor. Just
you want
food.
Fraburh with that?
I just load up with food
Fraburh.
and pornography.
And porn. Lots of porn. Now,
Trailblazer.
it's chiseled porn, so it's not as attractive as, well, what you're used to.
What are we rolling?
You are rolling for a perilous journey. It's always wisdom.
I got 11.
Got a 10.
Nice. Dice noise, 10. Go ahead, JJ.
Roll a lot of 10s.
Oh, he failed.
Ooh,
didn't
I
he?
have a 7.
Oh, you
that's
got
not a
it. You
failure.
got it.
All right. You had an 11
11.
as a scout. You had 10 as a trailblazer.
Correct.
So as far as the food goes, you're not going to lose any. It's just going to be about as much as you needed.
Has anyone ever starved on a dungeon world journey?
In a different game,
We got
yes.
close.
Really?
Yeah. You got, actually, technically, you guys got short on food and pretty much everything. Your first trailblazing where you got lost on the way to Carthol.
We
the
got
first
lost,
time.
remember?
Yeah. You had to backtrack and head over to Carthol.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking about eating.
But we starved?
Almost.
No, it could have been. If there were another failure or two in that line of failures, it could have amounted to
That'd
that.
be a bummer way to end the campaign. Like, you were going to face the great evil prince of
And you
elemental.
starved to death.
And
And
you
you
starved to
starved
death.
Yes.
There's Raquel.
Uh-oh. JJ has an iPad. Oh, she's a minor? Nice. When you're getting closer to the monastery, first off, Nessalus, although never having traveled this path before, it's like an intuitive feeling of making your way forward. And perhaps as you're getting closer, what Truk sees brings light to why it felt so natural for the direction. It looks like, Truk, as you're getting closer, the monastery seems to be overrun with shadow demons.
Oh, fantastic.
Within a mile of the monastery, you can feel the darkness, the coldness, the almost pure evil among the land. The trees, even though it's springtime, all of the trees have started to fade to brown, and almost every plant has gone dormant. And the evil surrounding the monastery extends out for miles.
I know we've already fought them, so I should have like a +9 to this roll, but can I spout lore on shadow demons?
What is it you think you want to know?
I just want to know everything I can know about shadow demons.
They don't like the light. It's getting towards nightfall. And
They're coming into their power.
they are, and they are so numerous that it's hard to tell the real shadows apart from the demon shadows. It is like a shadow demon has been cast upon the Wadozation Monastery. And I will let you guys think
does
about that
not-
for a minute while I step outside.
This does not sound good.
I
Because we're
wanna-
pretty badass. but
Because of your scouting role, you are seeing this well ahead of the time they see you. So think about how you want to approach it.
Do you want to fireball them?
Fireball the monastery.
And then empower magic to boost it up?
and then elemental mastery, some awesomeness. Like,
Once I get the fire going?
Well, I
Like
mean,
a hurricane?
the monks were forewarned, and forewarned is forearmed, and forearmed means that they have created tunnels for us to get into the monastery with.
What?
Totally.
How would they even know?
Totally. Don't doubt it.
well, regardless, I think are we talking about 5 shadow demons or 500 shadow demons?
Probably 500.
You said overrun.
I mean,
You
if
said you
Troop does
couldn't
elemental
tell.
mastery with a hurricane or a tornado.
Yeah, take them all
I
out.
mean, overrun just means that they have +3/+3 in trample.
So I'd say, yeah, you want to fireball them, and then you take over and just roughshod.
I mean, you tell me.
I can fireball them and then empower magic to boost it.
What does that do?
I can either, on a +10, a 10 or more, I had to choose from the bottom.
I love being on the bottom.
Spells effects maximize, or the spell's targets are doubled.
Yeah, that's what we want. Is Fireball your biggest spell? Area of effect
that's
spell?
my biggest AoE.
AoE. If you're listening and you know AoE, you're awesome.
Well, they would also be awesome if they knew what overrun, the reference I just did.
I think that's what we should do. And I think the game master can take it and he can like it.
So go ahead and fill me in a little.
So
We're gonna
we
fireball.
discovered that the monks also they built tunnels,
Okay.
secret tunnels that they were able to send a psychogram out to Nessalus and tell her where the entrance to the secret tunnel was, so we can get inside the monastery.
Because they had advance notice that we were coming.
Yeah, they were forewarned.
They were forewarned by the psychic tweet.
Interesting. How would they have gotten that information to Nessalus? They don't have a wizard that could cast a ritual.
Oh, it's feedback.
Feedback. Okay. Now,
You are just bullshitting your way through.
That's half a Dungeon World.
let's do a spout lore with Nessalus then. Good thing it's intelligence.
Good thing it's intelligence.
What does Nessalus know about the information that she received back in the feedback loop?
That it is awesome.
Go ahead, say 10.
Everything
No.
is awesome.
9 plus 3 is 12.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
The information that was sent back to you about the tunnels underground leads you to believe that you'd still have to reach the monastery in order to get to the tunnels.
Oh, that's useless. Why tunnel underground if you're not going to go outside of the monastery?
Well, you need to get close enough. You are miles away right now, and the tunnels lead. So these are escape things. If something lays siege to the monastery, they can get 20 yards outside of the monastery and run away.
Got it.
You still have to reach there, though. You have to be within 100 feet of the monastery.
Can I fireball a path towards where we need to be and then have Truk elemental magic the shit out of it?
Well, and you're going to boost it, right?
Yeah, I'll boost it.
Oh man, can Truk boost it on top of the boosting, and have some kind of synergistic effect of elemental mastery?
Dude, can you fireball and then I can elemental magic and then you can boost it?
Sure. I'm going to empower magic.
Make Joe take that and like it. Dominate!
Dominate!
The game master.
I'm going to take it hard, apparently.
Yes, you are.
Dominate
We're going
the
to
game
fireball the monastery.
Empower magic.
All right, elemental mastery.
All right, tell me how this is going to work. I'm going to empower magic and fireball.
All right, so wait.
Power magic is...
You can only do it on a 10 plus, hon.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
you roll, you can take that roll and do something with it.
Okay.
Wait. So while you're doing this, I see what you're preparing. And Truk, because Dungeon World people at home, this ain't D&D. This ain't role-based. This ain't go around with initiative. This is what's happening. Truk sees Nessalus putting up her hands to do fireball. And Truk's like, you know what? This would be a great time to call on the spirits of fire. And he's going to call on the primal spirits of fire to perform a task
Just
and
for
ask
you.
them to bolster Mickey's fireball by 3 times.
Okay. So how does that work? What can Truk do to make fire more fiery?
He is calling on the
Wind.
primal spirits of fire and asking them to
Wind. Water.
take all of the energy that they could channel beyond her knowledge of the spell, but from the primal roots of the earth, channel it into that to make that spell as powerful as possible.
Okay. What I want to do then is I want you to do an aid roll, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat a failure as catastrophe.
Oh,
like
dear
the spell,
God.
like
Wait, no.
the move says.
Don't
but
do it.
you're going to aid her to make her more effective.
Don't do it.
Because really, that's what you're doing,
We're going to die.
right? You are not. I'm going to say it
Yeah.
this way. You
If
are
nothing else,
not
at least
doing
it'll be a
something with the
distraction.
elements yourself. You are using the elements to increase what she is doing.
I guess that's correct.
That's the way I'm viewing it, so I'd like to view it as an aid. You're helping her fireball.
all right, because I'm a nice guy, I'm going with it. Let's do it. Come on, aid. Here we go.
We're going to die.
Oh, hell yeah, I aided the shit out of you.
So Nessla's crapped herself at the field of Bethel.
Look, you,
Now-
I rolled an 8.
I gave you a plus 19 because I rolled a
A plus
12.
19. You get a +1 to
What
your
is
roll.
8 plus?
9.
So you had an,
That's good.
what, so
Can you
with
get
your
one more?
modifier, you had an 8?
Hey, can we not squeak one more out of there?
With my modifier, I had an 8.
Okay. So
Plus-
you got it to a 9.
She only get, I rolled a 12. She only gets a plus 1?
I'm not going to stop what you said from happening. Okay. Bear with me here.
Okay.
Okay. So you successfully aided her. You did not fail in aiding her.
Okay.
But she still has to pay the price of a 7 to 9 roll. Do you see where I'm going here?
How did you only get...
I got a 5.
Dang. All right.
These dice are on timeout.
Do I have 90 seconds?
Do you have 90 seconds? It depends on how long Mickie takes to
Wait,
describe her
I have
balls
to
of fire.
pee. Balls of
Describe your
fire!
balls of fire at extensive, lots of description.
Thank you. So we kind of crested some
There's
sort of
certainly
hill.
a lot of urination going on.
There is a lot.
today.
It's all the beer. So we
Yeah.
crested a hill, and at the bottom we see basically shadows, kind of like swirling.
The entire place, night is falling,
out.
and yes, it is like there is liquid
just
shadow.
liquid shadow. So I
Yes.
could see Nestleus getting there. She throws her arms up in the air. Her hands start to glow. Her eyes start to glow, and she's calling on her fireball. And she says her incantation, and just energy just emanates from her hands. She throws them. She thrusts them forward, and this just giant ball of fire just kind
And
of
Truk is
rolls
there,
down the
kind
aisle.
of pulling
Truk is
from
behind.
the earth and the wind and
Well,
the.
see, the way I would see it is you would basically create like a little mini sun, and then Truk would stabilize it. So rather than it being explosive,
Yeah, it rolls. It's like a giant bowling ball rolling down
Interesting.
an alley.
Okay.
That's what I see. She thrusts her hands forward, and all this fire energy goes forward. Truk is behind her, kind of funneling it. So instead of it going wide to the side, it's
well,
concentrated.
no. What I was saying is
Well, I don't care what you
typically-
say. It's what I say.
Typically, you're explosive.
No, the fireball hits and then explodes. But instead of
Yeah.
hitting, it's rolling.
It's roll splosing
It's roll splosing.
Okay.
and stuff. So it's a flame sphere instead of a
Yes.
fireball.
It's a flame sphere.
Yeah. That's a D&D term. And Kurt is back. Welcome, Kurt. Go ahead and close that all the way if you would, please. Go ahead and turn your microphone back on, too.
Turn your mic.
El Shadow,
Turn your mic on.
please.
There you go.
I can't believe I
aquí
just
en el
said that.
Shadow.
Turn your mic on, Kurt. Oh, well. So the fireball goes forward and picks something from your 7 to 9 list.
I don't want to.
You have to.
All my
Sorry.
7 and 9 lists suck.
Yes, they do. That's
I
the
either
point.
draw unwelcome attention, the spell disturbs the fabric of reality. How about I forget the spell?
You're going to forget fireball?
disturb reality.
Disturb. That gives her a -1 to cast spells.
Oh.
Let's disturb reality.
What
I'll
you gonna
forget
pick?
fireball.
Okay, so you'll forget fireball. The fireball hits, and for a brief moment, you hurt yourself?
I did.
Okay.
Ow.
For a brief moment, there is light at that spot of the monastery where it hits, and it is quickly engulfed in shadow again.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's a lot of shadow demons to engulf that kind of fire.
It's like somebody is constantly.
fireball.
It is like somebody is constantly pouring black ink over the top of the monastery from a mile-wide ink dropper.
Can True kind of just search the area to try to understand what's going on and figure out if there's a lord or
Discern realities. You got it, buddy. Go for it.
Talk for 90 seconds.
8?
Yeah. So with an 8, you
that-
only get
that's
to
a
ask
wisdom?
one question. So
Wisdom.
ask it for a long time because Mickey's.
All right, so
gonna
just to be
take
clear,
a moment.
that's wisdom roll?
It is always wisdom for discern
All right,
realities.
so 7 plus
yes.
1 is 8 is wisdom.
Yeah.
And discern reality
It's on the basic moves on the right-hand side in the middle.
Yeah. Who is really in control here?
Who's really in control here? Well, it's always Mickey. Ha.
Dominate.
From what you can discern, that voice that you heard in your head is in control. That voice that said that it was approaching, and to tell her that it was approaching, it is in control of these shadow demons, and you can sense
Can I tell
that.
if he's here?
A short answer, not here, but somewhere on this plane. You can feel the presence, but not here.
So I would turn to Calamite and say, in short version, that was disturbing because we just wailed a monster spell and it had no noticeable
I
effect.
think that given the options, we need to do what we did the last temple and just bum rush this and try to get inside.
Interesting. How would you go about that? Because within a couple of 100 feet, it's all shadow.
Just bum rush it. Just try to get there as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I was hoping that we could have some kind of, stabilized spear of light to run behind instead of this stupid rolling fireball of doom. But, hey, whatever.
Hey, whatever.
I haven't used Elemental Mastery yet.
Stupid rolling
can master
fireball
light.
of doom.
Well, I mean, I had a plan, but you
There's so many damn show titles that have just popped up here.
I got. Should we throw a cone or spear of light?
What did
How?
I miss?
So far, the thought is to bum rush it like you guys did the temple and make your way inside.
Can we dig underneath?
Right now, as GM, I can't think of an easy way you would do that.
And elemental? Can you control the elements and create a tunnel for us?
Sure. I can call on the primal spirits of Earth.
It's worked so well so far.
it has.
And make kind of like open up a path underneath so we can just go under the under the shadow demons and into the monastery?
I'd like to see that.
Sure. I can call on the primal spirits
Just
of Earth.
remember,
Ask
you
them
can
to
only ever
perform
get 2 out of 3 things from that
a
list.
task.
that, and we could probably destroy the monastery in the
It could.
in the meantime.
Unfortunately, I cannot control light. I can control
So let's do a quick recap. What's at stake here? Why are you at the monastery?
To
trying
get the
to
sword.
get the third sword.
Okay. And
Have we gotten any bonuses out of the 2 swords that we have?
well, right now one of them's still with Elena.
We left a dead chick with a sword?
Yeah.
Well, she's not dead. Comatose.
Well,
Well,
smart.
nobody else knows how to wield it. I can't use it.
It's just a regular
Which
sword.
one do we have? Do we have a sword?
We do have a sword. We have my sword, Dust Demise.
Dust Demise. Do we have an idea whether Dusk's Demise has any special powers?
It has never failed me, but it has
It's
never,
able to kill krakens.
Yeah,
I mean,
it nothing super special, but it doesn't chip or dull or break.
it's a heck of a sword.
It's just a good sword.
It's one of them from the Forge of Heaven.
It's
Look.
made from special Valyrian steel.
Druk is not super
Valerian.
smart, but Dusk's Demise... The dusk is the time when darkness coats the land before light rises, and Dusk's Demise would banish darkness. Maybe before we call on the elements of Earth, we should see if Dusk's Demise can banish darkness where we need darkness to be banished.
This is kind of dusky.
How does that work?
Well, it is dusky, and I don't know. I mean,
Raise it over your head and yell, I
By
am
the
the bringer
power
of
of
light.
Grayskull.
Gadget.
By the power of Grayskull.
Yes, Mickey's on the right
go
page.
gadget.
Go gadget sword.
Yeah, I'll do the whole Spider-Man montage of trying to harness
Let's spout some lore to see if you can think of the right thing to do to make this happen in a way that you want it to.
So tapping into my holiness and the radiantness of the divine.
Yes, all at the same time.
This might be the time
Exactly.
where I disillusion Calamite from his focus on the almighty dollar
Maybe
and bring him around.
Ah, yeah.
Or not, because that's a 10.
Rolled a yes.
Plus.
I don't. Do you have a plus for intelligence?
I do not have a plus for intelligence.
But you rolled a 10.
I rolled a 10.
Outstanding. So based on everything that you can recall, and we'll do this like this split-second flashback in the past, every way that you've used this sword, nothing brings you to believe that it in itself could do anything extra for you. So you are sure no matter how you wield it, it's just going to slice stuff that you hit with it.
Okay. So let's just do that.
And
then.
at this point, you are now 100% positive of that. You holding this sword makes it nothing special.
What if I hold his sword?
You do that last night. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Oh, snap.
I walked into that one. But seriously,
Yeah, you did.
She walked into the sword.
what if I hold it? What if I hold his sword?
And I will extend that. Let's say that that actually was a conversation quickly.
Okay.
Calamity also knows that because of the outright 10 on the spout lore, This sword does nothing special on its own. You get some insight that it is not
it's a
its
Voltron
own
sword.
entity. It belongs to a larger whole.
All right, so in light of what happened with Calamite, am I seeing that nothing spectacular is happening? Truk is going to...
Well, I would leave that up to JJ. Do you want to say that? Like, he told you, go ahead, it's Duck's demise, you want to kill some waterfowl.
Dust.
And yes, and you realize it's not going to do anything special.
Yeah,
do you want to let everyone know?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Like, there is no inner power to be harnessed here. Its true potential can only be unlocked by combining it with more of its brethren.
Right. And even if I had
gadget
not
sword.
heard that, I see the scene playing out, and I don't see shadow demons falling around him. So this is split second what's happening as we go. So Truk is going to try to throw down a quick, not big deal elemental mastery spell in the hopes that he can just channel.
I like how he plays down the failure.
Quick,
It's not a big deal.
Not big deal.
Just a quick channel, like an earth channel.
Just like that.
Just like a World War II trench to where we need to go.
Got it.
But it's underground.
Oh,
Underground.
Jesus.
Nice.
9 plus 1 is a 10.
10.
Hell yeah,
Okay.
bitches!
Woohoo!
That's the first success I've rolled in
That
3 weeks.
that is worth celebration. I'll clap for you
Clap
as
for
well.
that.
So you are able to let the earth split aside. Now here still you have to pick 2 out of the 3.
Yep.
So go ahead and read the 3 again and tell me the one you do not pick. Because
All right,
that's
so on
bad.
Element of Mastery, I can get the effect I desire to come to pass. I can avoid paying nature's price or retain control. On 10, I pick 2. I clearly want the effect I desire to come to pass. I don't really have an issue with retaining control here, so I guess
Really?
I'll take nature's price.
Okay, so you want nature to take her
Yeah, because
price.
I don't understand what retaining control would be.
Well, think about
I
it.
don't want the
You're
path to
about
not- I don't want the path to go somewhere else.
You're about to go underground in
Yeah.
a tunnel with your companions.
No.
Do you want to retain control of that tunnel?
It's not a closed tunnel. It's just an open air, like World War II trench.
But that's not going to... It's shadows. How do you stop shadows from going in a trench?
Yeah.
I thought you were making
It
a
was
tunnel.
a tunnel.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the tunnel idea. Let's pay nature's price, see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely
Yeah.
don't want a trench. It's shadows.
I'm down with nature. I'll pay nature's price.
Really?
Oh, dear.
I don't know if I believe
I'll give her
that.
some gold.
Nature
Give
doesn't-
nature some gold. It came from nature. Maybe she wants it back.
I got a 10. I got to get pretty good out of this.
So you're going to make a tunnel.
You make a tunnel.
And now, again, you're going to take the
And
effect.
I'm
You
going to
want-
retain control of the tunnel.
Okay. So you are not going to avoid paying nature's price.
Correct.
Okay.
So you will pay nature's price.
Yes.
So even if I rolled a 14 on this, I'm still going to get hammered somehow.
Yeah, because nature has to... It has to balance.
All right.
You can't just make something happen without a price.
Cool.
Right.
I'm down with it.
Now, the price could be minimal. It could be huge. You could be dead.
Okay.
But you're not. So the earth opens. What does it look like when this happens? Is it like really nice and clean, or are there like worms and stuff that fall on you as you go through?
This is quick. This is like throw a spell and a chasm gets channeled.
Yeah.
And it's clean. It is crisp. It is literally a walk-through tunnel.
Okay. So with you being probably a few hundred yards outside of the monastery, you're going to have to traverse that distance to get there. When you reach the monastery, let's say that the tunnel, because you rolled a 10 and you finally completely succeeded on an elemental mastery for once, the end of it opens into one of the underground tunnels that they had built. Okay. Up above, all you hear is let's say it anyway. You hear darkness. There's like nothing. As a story element, you can only hear darkness. There's no sound of people. No
Does it
sound
sound like
of
Marilyn
anything.
Manson?
It's the sound of silence.
Oh, very
Simon and
nice.
Garfunkel. All right.
No,
Or
just
disturbed.
Or disturbed.
But you hear literally nothing.
Right, but-
as soon as you stop walking and the sounds of the earth crunching under your sandals is done, it is dead silent.
All right, but I'm there,
say-
and you guys are there with me.
And
Yeah.
you know what you
Following?
say? You say, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Hello, darkness, my
No, you
old
say it. You don't sing it.
friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
There you go.
I've come to talk with you again.
She can sing.
Joe heard me sing Chantal Creviasa because he's like, I'm done. I'm
I'm
out.
done. I'm so done. So there you are. You are underneath the monastery, and even though moments ago there were shadows covering the whole thing, there is no sound above you.
Shit.
Would the
What does
shadows
that
make
mean?
no sound?
Have you heard a shadow make a sound?
No.
Other than when it's kicking your ass.
No.
Or killing a druid, as you guys
I'm just
did.
trying to
Or
say,
breeding
are we coming
skin.
up
Yes.
into shadow demons,
Yeah, I like
or are we
that.
coming up into nothing?
Right now, you're not going up. You're underneath the monastery,
We're
and I
just
wanted
walking.
to stop
So-
you there so
Right.
you could hear nothing.
All right, Calamity, do you think that there are... I don't hear anything. Is this all shadow demons above us, or do we
I
think
think
it's
so.
clear?
I think we need to continue in this tunnel. Because we just connected to the one that the monks built. So let's go into the monastery now.
All right.
You're going to go up into the monastery.
Are we ascending a level?
Yeah.
I would, the way I'm going to treat this, you only went, 5 feet underground. I mean, technically, I guess, 10, 15 feet, and you've left 5 feet of solid surface above you or so, enough that nature knows how much room to give you to get to where you need to go. And since you were coercing nature to do this, it happened. As you start to go up the man-made tunnels, you can hear the tunnels the tunnel you made, as well as the other man-made tunnels, collapsing.
Oh,
And
crap.
nature has to exact a price. You are ascending up into the monastery, and as you open the hatch, who's going to be first?
Me.
Calamity, as you open the hatch, there is no light. It is complete and utter darkness
Fair enough.
as you open the hatch. There's
It's a good thing my middle name's Riddick.
There's a feeling. There's a feeling of malevolence in the sound of nothing.
All right.
I cast light.
Really? Let's find out.
a
Any
cantrip.
spell is a roll.
Thank you for rolling for me. He rolled an 11,
Nice. I'll allow it.
and it just happens.
Okay. So you have light. What do you cast it upon? You still have to pick an object to cast. I think it does, right? You
Yes.
pick an
Dust
object?
demise. What else would you cast it on?
I don't know. up to her.
Out of my touch glows with
Yes.
an arcane light, about
So
as
you're
bright
going
as
to
a
touch your
torch.
sword and light
I'll
it
touch
up?
his sword and light him up.
Nice.
Light him up, light him up, light him up.
I'm on fire.
The darkness is palpable around the sword, and you can see no farther than about 3 feet.
Shit, what the
3
hell's going
feet.
on in here?
Yes.
Well,
It is
good
so
thing you know
dark.
is monastery like the back of your hand,
You
right?
pretty much can see each other and the floor beneath your feet. That's it.
Right? You can navigate this in the dark, right?
Can you navigate us through to where the...
I mean, the monastery is very, very straightforward. I can explain it to you.
4 walls and a
Can
roof.
I feel the sword? The sword emanates some sort of power.
I like that idea. Let's do a detect magic.
I want to roll before we finish.
Go for it.
I have an 8.
All right. 8 plus intelligence.
11.
Okay.
Big difference.
With a detect magic,
Jesus, I rolled an 8.
yeah,
Plus intelligence.
What's wrong with you?
Is it
there are several. You get this feeling of several things, but it's like trinkets around the monastery, like your prize is out of reach of your spell,
So we just have to move forward.
possibly. What is it Truk wanted to do?
He would like to, before we finish, roll a Communion of Whispers roll.
Let's do that. Let's do that, and that might wrap us up.
So when I spend time in a place, which I've spent immense time in this place, I can make note of its resident spirits and call on the spirits of the land to
This
grant
will
me a
be your
vision.
first time communing with the spirits
In-
around the monastery.
in the monastery.
This could be enlightening, or horribly catastrophic.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the latter.
God, I've got to get my wisdom
Give me
modifier
a total number.
6.
up. 6.
6? Okay.
God, wisdom.
You?
I'm starting to feel like Truk, in my mind, Truk could have been such an awesome character.
Yeah.
And then he rolled so many 6s and belows that he's just like this fucking aborted awfulness.
God.
So you see,
He is
in your-
literal placenta.
in your mind, in your communication with the spirits of the monastery, you see Sensei Raishon being destroyed by a shadow demon.
Oh no!
And that's where we're going to wrap up this episode.
That's horrible.
Of Adventures from the Shed, and we'll see you on the next one. For now, we're going to say
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
bye.
Sad penis.
Approaching the Wadazeshon Monastery, which is overrun by demons, the intrepid adventurers create an underground tunnel to make their way in. Upon arriving, Nessalus senses the demise of Sensei Raishan. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.